So beginning with a computer, so we have a computer. What do we give to the computer? We instruct the computer to perform some task and it gives output. So it gives some output and we give it instructions. But along with instructions tell the computer what to do. But a computer needs some extra information and what to operate upon. So that we give in the form of data. So as you can see that instruction and data form the input to the computer. Computer processes these instructions and data and produces some output. And this computer performs arithmetic and logical operations. Performs arithmetic and logical operation. And one of the most important thing one must know about a computer is that who developed the first computer. So it was first developed by a man named Charles Babbage. Let me write it. First developed by Charles Babbage. Let us put it this way. We have a keyboard, a mouse. Of course, we have the processor also. We also have a monitor. Monitor is a screen on which you view the contents of the output of the computer. Similar to a monitor is a printer which gives data from the computer. What you have more? Yes, we have a hard disk. And we also have a RAM inside a computer. So if you look at it carefully, the processor is the very important part of a computer. It is also known as CPU, Central Processing Unit. It is the most important part of the computer. Another part is the input and output devices. So these keyboard and mouse form the input devices. These give data to the computer. Input devices. Similar to input devices, those devices which take data from the computer, which display data from the computer, or which output the data from the processor are known as output devices. What remains is hard disks and RAM. So these store data. Some data you give through keyboard and mouse, but some of data which is very huge, which has a large chunk. So this data is stored in hard disk and then given to the processor. So you can give data and take data from a hard disk. You can write to the hard disk, you can read from the hard disk. Similar is the case with RAM. As you can see, hard disk and RAM are two different devices. So these are actually storage devices. But storage devices are primary. They are classified into primary and secondary storage devices. Take the example of hard disk. In the hard disk, you store data, and after that, if you switch off the power, and again after some time switch on the hard disk, switch on the power, turn on the computer, the data in the hard disk is as it is. There is no change in that data. So this type of devices which are non-volatile, in which the data remains even if you switch off the power, are called as secondary devices, secondary storage devices. On contrary, if you take the example of RAM, the RAM is random access memory. It is a fast memory the processor uses it. So the RAM, if you switch off the power, the data in the RAM is lost. So RAM is a primary storage device. Why primary? Because mainly the processor uses RAM. Okay, let us now look at programming. What is programming? We have a lot of problems in this world. So we have problems. So many problems. But how do we solve problems? There is a simple way to solve problems. First, we analyze that problem. Right? We analyze that problem. Then we do some designing and preparation of solutions. So we design and prepare a solution for that problem. Design and prepare solution. Right. After that, when the solution is ready, that we can solve this problem using this solution, what do is we test that solution, whether it is working or not. Testing comes the third process. After testing, we write something about it, what we did, how we did it. So we write about it. This is a general process of solving problems. But this process is also applied in computer science. Any problem you have to solve using a computer, using programming, what you do is analyze the problem, you design and prepare the solution, which are in the form of programs. Right? And after that, you test it. The testing phase comes under that. And after that, after testing, you write about it. You write how you wrote that program, what was your strategy, and how to use that program, all other stuff. So this comes under documentation. So this is documentation. The programming is a four-step process: analyzing, designing and preparing the solution for problems, then testing it, and writing about it. Now continuing with the programming part of our lecture, let us say we have a computer. You tell it to do work. You say do work. Then a computer does work. It does something. It follows your instructions. So it does something and says that work is done in the form of output. It shows you some output. Right? So what a computer does is it executes programs. It executes its programs. But what do you do when you say do work? When you say do work to the computer, you provide it nothing but programs. You provide it programs. And these programs are nothing but instructions. Instructions you tell the computer to follow to solve any problem, and it gives you the output. So in short, programming is nothing but the act of writing programs. Programming means writing programs.